In today's video, I will show you how to open an EastWest regular checking account for only 5,000 pesos. The regular checking account is a non-interest bearing peso checking account wherein funds can be withdrawn through the issuance of checks. I was quite apprehensive about the application process because it was my first time opening a checking account. But the good thing about EastWest is that you do not need to have an existing savings account with them to open a checking account. Unlike other banks that require you to have a savings account with them for at least 6 months to open a checking account. And because I live in the province, the closest East West Bank is pretty far away, and I had to travel for several hours. I made sure my application was approved in one visit. So these are the requirements that I prepared. One valid ID, two valid IDs. I submitted my unit ID and company ID. Proof of billing under your name and home address. I did not have my own proof of billing, so I used my parents' electricity bill, then just wrote an authorization letter. However, they later returned it to me, so it really wasn't part of the documents I submitted. However, just make sure you prepare a proof of billing because each application is different. Proof of income, I presented 4 recent pay slips as well as a certificate of employment. I got it from my employer, of course. And photo ID, one by one or two by two, I submitted one by one. And customer information sheet, which you will complete there. 5,000 pesos for the initial deposit. You also need to prepare that amount. And they may require additional documentation depending on your reason for opening an account, such as an endorsement letter from the developer if the reason for opening your account is to pay the equity on your investment property. So as I said earlier, I made sure that I get everything ready, and when I arrived in my preferred branch, I was immediately entertained because there were not many people there. I told them I wanted to open a checking account. They asked me for what purpose. I explained that I have a loan to pay. So during the process of my application, I had two issues. First, the teller informed me that she cannot guarantee that my application will be approved because my residence is too far away and I won't be able to easily visit the bank if there is a problem with my checks. They prefer to deal with all check related issues as quickly as possible. I then explained how I was working from home and how our city office is literally across the street from theirs, and how I believe I will be required to report in person 2 months later because our company had been telling us to return to the office. This means we would no longer be able to work from home, so she then went to her supervisor for approval, and thankfully they agreed to let me open an account with them. I then completed the customer information sheet. So this is their application form. So this is what you will complete. You can just complete it there, so no need to download anything from the net. And after completing the customer information sheet, I ran into my second issue. So my signature did not match the one on my ID. The signature on my ID was in the long form, but the signature on the application form was in the short form. It was compressed, so I had to practice multiple times to get the correct signature. They appear to be pretty particular how the signature is done. Your signature on your check should match the signature on your IDs or the signature on your application form. So when you write a check and the recipient cashes it, the signature on the checking account is compared to the one they have on file. To minimize further delays in your application process, make sure you practice writing your signature beforehand. Once I fixed my signature and the documentation is processed, the teller gave me my first check. So it's a 50-page checkbook, which is way more than I required. So because it was my first time using a check, the teller then went on to explain how to use the check and the fees and charges involved. That is it. I hope this will be helpful. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, liking this video, and hitting the notification bell for more content. Thank you for watching.